Hello, and welcome to another episode from Ministry of Flavour. In this episode, we are going to be following up on our last episode and looking at the love child of hipsterism, giant plastic syringes, and the quest for coffee perfection that is the Aeropress. So welcome to the cupboard in my kitchen, which I reserve solely for coffee. Yes, I really do drink that much. Why do I have two Aeropresses? It's a fascinating story and one I will return to later on in the video. As I was saying, for this you're going to need your standard Aeropress setup of an Aeropress, a scoop, a funnel and a filter. Going along with my hipster brew method today, I'll be using a hipster small batch coffee, which I seriously recommend trying out if you're ever in Vancouver like I was earlier this year. Seriously though, 49th Parallel Coffee roast some seriously good coffee and make the best donuts I've ever had. Over to the grind. For the grind of coffee, you want it pretty fine as the grounds aren't immersed in water for that long. A good rule of thumb here is to have it not quite as fine as espresso, but not as coarse as drip coffee. Somewhere in between usually works pretty well. Today I'll be working with the inverted method. I've done a lot of research and testing into both traditional and inverted methods in my time owning an Aeropress. About half the Aeropress World Championship winners use this method, half use a traditional setup. Suffice it to say, there really isn't that much difference between the two, apart from the inverted giving you slightly more control in terms of being able to fully immerse the beans before your coffee starts to extract. So once you have your Aeropress set up like this, the next thing you're going to want to do is add a scoop of coffee. The scoop they provide is actually pretty good in terms of measuring out the right dosage, and for 1 cup of coffee, which I'm going to be making here, 1 scoop is perfectly fine. So add that in, and now it's on to adding the water. Temperature actually makes a pretty big difference here. Too cold and your coffee will taste flat and sour. Too hot and you'll have a burnt, bitter taste. Around 80 degrees is a sweet spot for good extraction. Be sure to slowly add your water to immerse all the grounds. You can stir if you want, although I find it isn't always necessary with this method if you add your water slowly. Next, take your filter cap with a slightly wetted paper filter in place. Try that for a tongue twister. It helps to stick it in place and wash away any lingering paper taste. Now it's on to flipping over the Aeropress and plunging the piston for the extraction. The key here is to go nice and slow. There's the slow you're thinking of. Yeah, it's slower than that. Whilst we're waiting for this to complete, it gives me time to go through the side story of how I have two Aeropresses. Are we ready? Back in 2013, I had one Aeropress. I was also in my final year at university and racing to finish my dissertation. I was writing about Joseph Goebbels to complete my history degree. Procrastination was a serious problem back then, namely in the form of endless scrolling through YouTube videos. One YouTuber I came across who managed to mesmerise me with her to-the-point, no-nonsense delivery style was Gail from Seattle Coffee Gear. I was an instant and confirmed fan. Skip forward 2 years and now I'm completing a West Coast US road trip. When I get to Seattle, naturally I have to make a pilgrimage to Seattle Coffee Gear and go on what's affectionately known in the fandom as a Gale hunt. Although she wasn't there at the time, I wanted to grab something as a souvenir of my time there, and the second Aeropress was welcomed into the family there and then. Still with me. So there you have it, the story of how I came to have two Aeropresses and the perfect coffee extraction. Usually it's a good idea to water down your extracted coffee concentrate, add milk if you're style, as you see me doing, and there you have it, the Ministry of Flavour guide to the perfect Aeropress extraction. Thank you very much, that's a wrap for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.